people.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
The All-American
Hello and welcome to another edition of the All-American Spook Show podcast. I'm Josh, and once again I'm joined with my good friend Will.
What's up?
And the Professor, Smoke.
What's up?
And this is a rare occasion for us because at least two of us are in the same room at the same time. Me and Will are in studio.
And so far it's going better than the first time that we did this because for our first episode I got a ticket on the way over.
Yeah, and then you ended up having to sit in the car
Right.
outside of my house while on Skype.
Yeah, dedicated listeners will remember that because the car started going off. You heard the door close once or twice.
It just all added to the ambiance and the mood.
Pure suck.
Which also leads me to we actually were able, thanks to Mad Monster Party, which was here in late February in Charlotte. Smoke was able to come up, and we were actually able to get together and have dinner and be in the same room for the first time in almost a decade.
Probably want to emphasize
Yeah,
being in the same room because I had to sit on the other side of the table to keep my kids under control.
Yeah, we had. I've got two kids. Will has two kids, and Smokey didn't bring any with you. But yeah, there was a lot of kid action. Going on.
Yeah, that's true. But that was awesome though to get to. I mean, I couldn't believe it'd been that like 10 years. I mean, over 10 years probably, like more like 11 or so.
Yeah, that's
since we'd all been in the same place at the same time.
That's crazy. I didn't think it had been that long, but I guess once we started thinking about it, it's been a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every time I come back up there, I end up missing Charlotte there, and of course it changes a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's been built up and stuff that's new stuff there, and other old stuff that's not there anymore.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I drive around, like I'll drive to a certain section I haven't been to in a while, and everything's changed.
Oh yeah.
Even still living here, it's stuff's being built all the time, man. It's just changing all the time here.
But it's good to see at least two things that are still there. Well, that I still go to anytime I'm pretty much in Charlotte if I have time, which is Manifest, which record store there, which we had one in Columbia, the original Manifest. Used to be a hole in the wall in downtown Columbia when it first started, and then got a little bit bigger and it moved. Well, it just closed its doors for good here a few months back. So that was kind of sad to see it go. But at least the one in Charlotte's still going, and then Lunchbox Records off of Central Avenue over there, still going good too.
Yeah, Lunchbox is still there. I hope they stay around for quite some time. I mean, they've been there a long time, so hopefully they don't go anywhere. We have a new bit. We actually made some T-shirts available over on tpublic.com. You'll be able to order we have at least one, just generic All-American Spook Show podcast T-shirt available on there, or at least the logo. But you can also order hoodies, like baby onesies. I believe they have
coffee mugs. Right?
Yeah, mugs.
Covers.
There's a pillow. So basically, you can get just about anything they offer with the logo slapped on it. So, and hopefully, we'll have some new not logos, but T-shirt designs available over time as we come up with them. But you can go over to TeePublic now and order those.
Maybe we should talk to them and see if they can do a dartboard with your face on it.
Whose face?
Josh.
Oh, no.
I would pay for it.
There'd be at least two people that would pay for that. 3 if you include my wife. You can email us at allamericanspookshow@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at AASpookshow. You can also look for the All American Spook Show on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and like I just mentioned, we now have a TeePublic presence. So if you want to order anything, you can help us, help support the show that way. So, Will, you been watching or doing anything interesting here lately?
I've seen a few shows here lately. Let's see. Me and the wife watched Bohemian Rhapsody last night. Also watched Get Out. I finally got to see that. I have gotten caught up on Silicon Valley. Got caught up on Crashing. I'm about halfway through Runaways on Hulu. God, I feel like I've watched a lot more stuff, and I'm just spacing on what it is right now.
Well, you've watched way more than I have recently, at least as far as TV shows.
Oh yeah, well, there might have been a little downtime at work.
You mean at home?
Yeah, I meant I was just using work as like a hypothetical place.
Work is a metaphor for home.
Yes.
Smoke, what about you? You been watching anything? Movies, TV, anything recently? Porn?
Oh yes, plenty. Plenty of. No, the movies. Yeah, okay. Now we did well, as you mentioned earlier, that we did go to Mad Monster Party in Charlotte. So ended up up there. We saw Bruce Campbell was there, Danielle Harris. Got a lot. I actually saw Danielle Harris in '92 at the Weekend of Horrors I went to. When she was back, when she was still, I don't know, what, 9, 10, 11 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, she was in Halloween 4.
Yeah.
Of course, and then some other stuff after that, but, Halloween 4 being the first thing she really did. So that was shortly after that when I went to that convention. So.
She was the one that we mentioned, I think, in the last episode
okay.
in one of the Halloween movies, right? She was like standing there holding the knife with the clown outfit on.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was there, and it was a good time. Bruce Campbell hosted the Last Fan Standing, which we kind of participated in, which was sort of like a game show where he hosted a trivia type of thing, and you had it. Whoever was there in the tent, they had it outside in that tent area. Whoever answered all the questions right on the trivia get to go up to the podium and have like a head-to-head with the 2 or 3 other contestants. So that was a good time.
How did you do?
He made it interesting. Well, there was a little bit of technical issues as far as with his microphone, and the audio from the microphone wasn't loud enough to hear. We got there before it started, of course, but not early enough, I guess, to get way up in the front. By the time we got there, a lot of that front section had already been filled in, so we're kind of towards the back. Couldn't hear the audio that well off the whole first set of questions. So that didn't work out so well for us that round, and so we never got up to the actual podium. But it was still, it was a good time Bruce Campbell made it entertaining as usual.
I'm sure.
Now,
so even though we didn't get up there to the podium, it was still fun.
What'd you say, Will? Repeat that.
I said, who is Bruce Campbell?
Oh, come on!
Is he the guy
well, of course. What hasn't that guy done now since Evil Dead, and then from there to being linked with Sam Raimi, it was like Xena and Hercules and
Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep, yeah. And then, of course, non-horror occult-related things like Burn Notice, that TV series.
Yeah. I never watched that one. Did you ever watch that?
I liked it. The episodes I saw. I haven't seen the whole thing by any means, but actually I was working at a TV station when I was down in Texas. Fox affiliate had Burn Notice on at night, so I would see it in passing that way, when I was like editing it for commercials and whatnot.
Ah.
So I saw some of the episodes then, but I'd like to go back and like actually watch the whole series because it was good. What I saw.
So you been watching anything else recently, or other than
I saw Lords of Chaos. I saw, and I can't really. I'm too firmly entrenched, I guess, in black metal and everything to really give it a unbiased opinion or review on it. Except it was pretty brutal. They didn't flinch on some of those aspects of what went on in that Norwegian black metal scene in the early '90s. They didn't flinch on the violence by any means. So it's actually pretty gorier than some horror movies I've probably seen recently.
So what is? I really don't know anything about that one. What is that about?
It's about, it's purported to be somewhat based on the true story of in the '90s when black metal was coming up in Norway, at least the second wave. Bands like Mayhem, Burzum, Emperor, as they were coming along, there was rashes of like church burnings, and then there was murders and things of that nature, that was going on in the scene at the time. So, and this movie there's a book written called Lords of Chaos too. And of course it, plays up all those elements of the story. And the movie kind of plays off of that book, but not as detailed.
Do you recommend it?
I'd say see it and I guess form your own opinions. If you don't, I guess, have any, knowledge or ties or anything with like black metal, then you could see it unbiased and probably get even more enjoyment out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd recommend it, I guess, for that reason.
I have to check it out whenever it's
but not
available.
as a document, I guess, of the music and of the bands necessarily. So I think they took a lot of liberties with I guess, characters and things they didn't know, so they had to fill in the gaps.
Myself, I watched Demons the other night. Is that a questionable directed movie? Like, they don't really know exactly who directed it, or is it?
Oh, well, it was Lamberto Bava. Yeah, he was the one that's attached to it as director, but Dario Argento produced it, and I think Argento probably had a heavy hand in the making of it as well.
From what I can understand, it sounded like there was a couple fingers in the pie, so I didn't know if there was one guy that got credit for that one or not. But yeah, I just watched that.
Yeah, Lamberto Bava got the actual director's credit for it.
I just watched that the other night, and man, we definitely need to do that one. We need to do that podcast soon. I was messaging with Smoke, after I watched it, and I got way too many questions about that movie to let that one slide by. It was really good. I enjoyed it. It's just there's a lot of like, what the fuck is going on here? Especially those last 20 or 30 minutes, man.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to get around to that one fairly soon, hopefully, because that's one of those, I guess, personal favorites of mine from back in the 80s too, and that whole Italian. That's the whole thing. We haven't done that yet. I don't think we've done an Italian film on the podcast yet. So, so that's a whole other world of things to get into as far as Italians were great technically and visually at composing scenes and the cinematography and everything, but sometimes not always great with the script of like plot.
Well, we did do one. Remember, we did Suspiria, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. We did do Suspiria. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Now it's not as this one isn't as artsy as that one for sure.
That's right. Yeah.
It's not. It's gory. It's a monster movie basically compared to that. But remember, Willie loved that one when we did Suspiria.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of the greatest movies ever.
If you want to know more about that, I think that was episode 3, if I'm not mistaken, of the Spookshow. I guess
I forgot that we had done Suspiria, but
yeah. Well, it has been a while. I mean, like, even though this is only episode 7, it's taken us
15 years.
Yeah, it's taken 4 months to do 7 episodes, so it's easy to forget what we might have done 4 months ago.
True. Yeah, trying to wrangle 3 people's three different schedules.
Yeah, it's been rough over the last month. That's why there was such a big gap between episode 6 and 7. If anyone actually downloads these and pays attention, then you'll notice that it's been about a month. So hopefully we can start to do these with more regularity once all of our work schedules start gelling at some point. That being said, this particular episode 7, we will be reviewing / discussing the 1987 cult classic Street Trash, which I think I failed to mention at any point before we started, and anything we've said before this. So.
Oh, good God. I didn't watch that movie.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. That was what we were doing today? Yeah.
Well, that's it for this week's edition. We'll see you in a month when we can record this again. But yeah, no, that's what we'll be discussing today, Street Trash. So I guess without further ado, here's the trailer for that.
I don't need this.
Are you tired of the same old routine?
My wife, my
busting your hump and getting nowhere?
This just ain't my day.
The boss, is he always on your back?
Nice, the ass belongs in your chair, not in your lap, which is where you keep trying to put it. You bastard!
The wife, and the kids.
Is that right?
They never listen.
I hate to see him pissing his life away in them goddamn computers.
Do you ever feel like forgetting the whole thing?
You think I got it easy?
Well, now you can.
I'm talking about life!
Drop out and join the ranks of the few. The filthy. trash.
I got my own place, a condominium.
Where else can you live for free? And eat for even less? Well, be forewarned. Freedom has its price. Yes, there's always a snake in the Garden of Eden.
What you got for me today?
Today? Tenderfly Viper. $1.
Here's to you, pussy. Don't drink my Viper. What?
What's the matter? You can't hold your liquor, huh?
Street trash. It's easy to find us. We're all over the place. Street trash.